Welcome everyone to the second episode of the Fletch Rambles Series. Now in this series, it's not a progress series, it's a series where you sit back and scape while I discuss some things in my RuneScape life, some things in my real life, and mostly things like behind the scenes, Q&As, and all that good things. After only a few days, I'm deciding to make another ramble because I've had really good remarks from people. I guess just one of the series, and I was really surprised how many people really liked it. I thought this was going to be a really niche type of series, which I personally would love making. I like doing it, so I can definitely make more of these. I really enjoy talking. That's one thing I really like. So, I knew I would like this, but I didn't really know that so many of you guys would like it. So, like I said, definitely bringing it back. And a few things we'll be discussing today are like some ninja fixes or ninja teasers, stuff like that. And like I said, we're going to be discussing the Q&A that happened this Tuesday. It was at the beach, and a few other little good tidbits that they added in there. And speaking of the first episode, I've been thinking of how I want to structure these videos, and I think I'm going to pretty much copy how I did the first one. So basically, if there's any IRL updates I want to give, I'll put them in the beginning of the video. If there's any RuneScape updates in my personal account, I'll put them right there. And then all the other good stuff is right after that, because I know that's the bulk of the video. So, like I said, I'm going to talk I have a tiny bit about IRL I'm going to talk about first. And that is that this Friday, I don't really know the date. I like to say the 12th. I think it's the 12th. It's the 12th. 12th of August, I'm moving back into my to a new apartment. Not back in, but moving into a new apartment, so that day might be pretty hectic. So if there's any videos delayed between Saturday, Sunday, something like that, just know that I'm pretty much the entire weekend I'm moving basically, because it's not gonna be just a one-day thing, but just understand that. And speaking of, my college my college fall classes start this Monday, the 15th? Yeah, the 15th of August. So those shouldn't really be a problem. After this weekend, I should be really good on schedule. Speaking of schedule, and jumping a little thing is that one thing I've been working on slowly, I don't know if I've really talked about it too much, is a guide. I have 3 guides planned right now that I really want to do, and maybe a 4th one. I'm thinking off the top of my head, but there's one I really want. There's at least, like I said, 3 I'm planning to get out in August. One of them is kind of a bigger project, and the other 2 are still big, but the first one's gonna be definitely a big project. So I've been working on that slowly, but next week I'm gonna definitely start working on it a lot. And my goal was to get it out around the time of skilling pets, the 22nd. Which, speaking of, I didn't talk about that. It was said actually in the Q&A, speaking of, that skilling pets were actually supposed to be released the 30th of August, but now they're released on the 22nd of August. So 8 days earlier than we were going to get them. So hype train confirmed. Even though we only know 5 of the 19, so we still got to see 19 of those little buggers. But yeah, it's pretty insane. It's 8 days earlier. Usually Jagex, if they're going to change an update, I think they even said it though. If they change an update, it always goes backwards, not forwards. So pretty cool. And speaking of cool, see, the rest of the updates are the beach this Monday, the 15th. It is the 15th. The 22nd, skilling pets, plus some patches they said they're going to do. And then the 30th, because 29th is a bank holiday, the 30th is the graphical rework of Catherby, which I'm really excited for, and White Wolf Mountain becoming a mountain. It's pretty nice. So I kind of meshed a few things in here, but that's okay. I like doing these in one take just to give myself my real, I don't want a scripted. I just want a real unscripted thoughts, my thoughts on things. So that's what this is. So like I said, I don't like doing that. Anyways, I had some things about my real life. Not my real life. No, I'm done with those. Oh yeah, RuneScape. So speaking of, this kind of goes into another little teaser thing. We talked in the last video about augmented dyes equipment. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have 2 dyed Noxious weapons on my Ironman, which is the Barrows dyed Noxious Scythe, and actually I can just show you guys. It's not going to take too long if you're looking at the screen, but I know, like I said, a lot of people like to just sit back and watch, so that's personally what I do in these videos. So, but if someone is watching, someone's looking, they want to look, I have a Noxious Scythe. Like I said, Noxious died. Noxious Scythe. I have a Barrows dyed Noxious Scythe, and I have a Shadow dyed Noxious Longbow. So, very nice. The only problem is that I cannot augment them right now, so. And if you also watch my completion series, which I said, like, I don't know if there's anybody who watches these and does not watch the completion series itself, but I'm actually waiting on augmented dyes to come out so I can augment my longbow and I can go camp next, because my thought process is I want to get all next items, and I don't see the reason to go kill next without augmented like weapon when I can get like tons of range XP, tons of invention XP, and probably faster kills with augmentation. So that's my thoughts on that. But speaking of augmented dyes, they have now pushed back augmented dyes till it was supposed to be about early August. Now it's middle September. Mod Ramen said on Twitter, somebody asked him, said, "Is there any more news on the dyed augments? I read your tweets, and some of the latest news was from 18th of August. Please give us an ETA." And Ramen said, "I mentioned on the last stream that I have main project work. This is, of course, my main priority." And then he said middle September, basically. He said middle September question mark. So, honestly, from what he said, to me, it sounds like late September, early October. It does not sound like middle September in my head. Like how he wrote that. He just wrote mid-Sep, like question mark. Like he doesn't even know. So, honestly, I'm thinking now late October, like not late October, early October. That's my thought in my head. I am now planning this. So, basically, in my account right now, I've been working on art hats to get my tier 85 spear, which I am incredibly dry on. I think I'm like 5.5k, maybe just 5k, but probably about 5.5k kills dry of the claw. I don't want to say anything else because, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I don't have the claw right now, and that's pretty sad. Pretty feels bad, man. So my goals will be changed a little slightly. I'm gonna anticipate now late September. So this means I'm gonna be going for the claw. Like I'm still going for the claw. I've been doing clues. If you've been you watched just the last episode, I was doing some clues. I'm still gonna be doing those. I'm probably gonna do more clues. Honestly, I've been really enjoying making the clues. I really like doing hard clues. AOV clues I like, but hard clues I like so much better. I would love to do easy and medium clues, but I just don't have the bank space to do those. So yeah, expect corp. I might just rush a lot of corp kills. I might go get Aftershock 3 on a weapon component, like basically get the Precise 3. Or not Precise 3. Aftershock 3, holy crap, I can't talk right now, but Aftershock 3. So, like, I get it ready for my bow. I could do that. So I can be ready to camp next. But, like I said, probably gonna be Corp. I don't want to take on another big boss right now. I might potentially start working on Gobbler's Dungeon 1. Like complete all Goddess Dungeon 1 before next, but I don't really know. I know Goddess Dungeon 1 is actually pretty okay Invention XP, so I might want to also wait till I can get my augmented Noxious Scythe, just so I can get some Invention XP, because there's really no reason for me to camp Invention XP because I have so many goals. I'll probably just get 200 mil Invention just from that. So I don't personally see a reason to camp for Invention XP on my account. So yeah, expect Corp 100% and the spear content and clue content for next little bit. I don't know how many clues, but like I said, I'm probably not going to take another boss. I might take on something easy, or I might go back to some Slayer bosses, like basically go camp Slayer and get those bosses. So yeah, I believe that's enough from my account. There's really nothing else. My current fletching XP, if anyone really cares, is at 36.3 million. I haven't had as much time to AFK fletch because I've been incredibly busy. I've said many times under that, but I just have. And I had said I'm moving Friday, so getting ready for that. So, like I said, if videos are a few days behind, I apologize. But if you guys don't also know, my schedule is about 2 to 3 days per Ironman completion series. And in this Ramble series, I don't really have a planned schedule for it. But what I'm going to probably do is about every good Q&A, every good behind the scenes that I can talk about. Basically, when I believe there's enough information brought out by Jagex that I can talk about, I'll make a ramble. So maybe 2 a week, 3 a week of those, with about 3 a week of Ironman completion series. And like I said, I'm still working on those. I'm still working on some guides right now, so August is going to be a pretty good month for me, no matter what. So, I believe that's enough about me. Let's just go ahead and jump right into all this good, juicy information that has been sent to us by Jamflex. So, we already discussed that Augmented Dives will not be coming out till middle of September. Probably minimum. I hope more, but it seems like it's one just going to be. Speaking of all these little teasers, we have 2 more teasers. One from the Ninjas and one from Mod Stu O. And Mod Stu O is running another little poll on his Twitter. I can link that in the description. I'll definitely link that in the description. I'll remember. If I don't, someone just yell at me in the comments and I'll make sure I'll put it, but probably should. Anyways, he's running a poll on his Twitter to ask about what's going to we want to be teased this Friday. And his choices are construction, farming, invention, and smithing. Now, at the current time of me making this video, farming is winning, and invention is second place by 6%, because the farming is at 35% of the vote. I don't believe I can see how many total votes. I guess not. But farming's at 35%, and 29% is at invention, with 20% smithing, 16% construction. So we'll most likely get farming pet shown on Friday. And if I make a video, like any type of ramble, I might, depending on how much information behind the scenes really gives us, I might, but if we do, I will definitely show that on that one. If not, I'll probably just show it on probably the next Q&A, because speaking of the next Q&A, getting a little bit ahead of myself, but that's okay. The next Q&A is going to be skilling pets, so actually, I have one little thing. Mod JD tweeted out, not tweeted, he actually posted on Reddit during the Q&A, like when that Q&A happened during the beach one, because that's when they teased about the what is it, skilling pets. Yeah, skilling pets released a week early. He posted on Reddit pretty much the exact same time, just telling people, just in case they weren't watching the stream. And then somebody asked him, is there really going to be a pet? No, sorry. They say, is there any more little sneak peeks you guys can give us? And JD's told him, just tune into the Q&A stream next week. So that might mean that we're going to see the rest of them next Tuesday, aka August 16th. So that's going to be pretty cool. I hope so. I hope there's every which one of them. If there is, I'll try and, like I said, I'll definitely try and make a Q&A video about that, or ramble video about that Q&A. So yeah, there'll probably be farming pet shown this Friday. That'll be the 6th one we've been shown, and there's 19, so it'll be 13 more we need to see that Tuesday. And there's also a ninja teaser by Mod. I can't read his name, but there's just another ninja teaser. Oh, this is made by Jagex from Mod Days. Mod Days was said apparently he was guesting as a ninja, so he helped do this little quote unquote ninja fix. It's titled the Smooth Out Rune Dragon Transitions. What this means is if you ever face rune dragons, I don't know if I have any clips. I might have a clip on there's like an episode, I think episode 4 of my completion series, I was killing rune dragons, and you might see the transition switch. But basically there's 3 phases of rune dragons, and I think they take like 5 seconds to change. This little like ninja update's gonna happen. Should make it so it's like Vindicta, because Vindicta has 2 phases, but the phases swap like flawlessly. Not flawless, but they're fast. They happen. Like you can just keep fighting. So if that happens, it's gonna be a really nice little quality of life update for Rune Dragons, because they really needed it, honestly. Also, oh yeah, they also put a little thing. Somebody asked them a question. Will this be released with accompanying HP buff to compensate for faster kills? And the mod said, no, we will not do that, but we'll be heavily limiting damage during the short transition phase. They will not heal, and you can gain adrenaline. So, all in all, this is going to make kills faster, but it's honestly not the big point of this. It's just to make them a little bit more, like, nicer to do, so. I believe that's all the little ninja teases and all that, so without further ado, I feel like I've been ranting for a long time, but without further ado, let's just jump right into this Q&A. So the Q&A was held about a day ago from now. It was on Tuesday, the 9th? Yeah, the 9th, because this is on the 7th. So on the 9th, they did a Q&A, and it was mostly about the beach, but there's a few tiny things they discussed before it. So in the Q&A, they talked about the schedule for this month, which I talked about earlier, but if you didn't pay attention, the 15th is the beach, the 22nd is killing pets, and some little, patches, just like usual. And the 30th will be Catherby and White Wolf Mountain graphical reworks. They also made sure to mention that Monday is a bank holiday, so this update will be released on Tuesday. They're talking about the last week, aka the Catherby and White Wolf Mountain one, because the 29th is the Monday, but Tuesday will be the release date. So, little thing to pay attention about. And then they talk about a tiny bit about the wilderness, because on the 8th, the wilderness task came out with the other wilderness rejuvenation things they did, like charming moths, all those little goodies basically. And they said a few things about it. One little nice thing, if you care about this, if you've done the task, you know there's one about these new switches they added. Basically, there's 2 switches, I think 5 ability levels between them, and you got to run back and forth and activate each one of them. There's really no reason for it, but for the task, it's only 10 times, so it doesn't take that long. It takes like a minute or two. I did it, but they said that the switch has been switched over 20,000 times, so that's interesting. They said also that someone figured out the math because you got a broadcast for the first, I believe, 10, 100 times you switched it, 1,000 times, and so on and so forth. And someone did the math and they figured out, I believe, it was either 1,000 or it was 10,000 that was just not possible. Because one of them, I know it was one of them. I don't see if I can find it anywhere, but I believe it was, I'm going to guess it was 10,000. I'm going to guess it was 10,000. Unless you use something like, you did some really interesting things, but yeah, I think it was 10,000. I can't find it right now. Rip me. Another thing they were talking about the wilderness things is that there were a few people asking if the collector's insignia could. It says we will look into collector's insignia's owner's luck potion effects. Honestly, I don't remember what that meant. Because I do remember a post on Reddit, somebody asking if they could look into it. I guess maybe they're saying that they want the luck potion to have the effects of the collector's insignia. Yeah, I guess insignia. I personally never had an insignia, so I don't really. That's one thing I just don't know about. A lot of things I know decently about, but that's one thing I just don't know about. So I'm really sorry about that. But also, someone asked about the bandit camp guards. Basically, they're really strong, and somebody was like, why are they so strong? They don't give any drops, and they're not really worth it. And then they basically said they weren't meant to be killed. They're guards. They didn't really have it. They're not supposed to have an incentive to kill. They're basically just a place, so you need the skull to go into the area. But the mods said that if people like the place, they could definitely add more content to the camp to get more people to go in. They also said that there is no current plans for them to be doing a few things. First off, somebody asked about if you could be able to augment the Wilderness Sword 4. They said they don't want to do that because their idea about invention is that you're supposed to, disassemble things that are basically stuff take stuff out of the economy, like Ceradoma swords, whips, Drygores, tier 90s, tier 80s, all that good stuff. And always basically that was their idea, and they don't really like the idea that you just keep buying it back. Although yes, people use sun spears and things, I personally use a lot of sun spears, but now I just siphon. But that was still their point. They don't really want it augmentable, so maybe they'll change in the future, but it seems they're pretty firm on that. People are also asking about the Sword of Edicts divination spot out in the wilderness. They wanted caches to be able to be available out there because caches are pretty efficient. That's the method to do divination, and their stance on it is that they don't really want to, but they said they'll look at not that they didn't want to, they just they kind of didn't like the idea, but they want to the original idea basically, because they said they could be an escape route, and just when you come back out of it. So they said they might tweak it a little bit in the wilderness only to make it work for the wilderness. So they said they'll look into it. They also said, well, somebody asked if they could make Slayer mobs in the wilderness, give an increased drop chance of clue scrolls, and they said probably not, but they'll look at it. So that might be something that could happen. Also, if you don't know, right now the Ninja team is working on the Bounty Hunter and Deathmatch system. Those should be coming out in September. I believe that's one of those, pretty 99% sure I said that's one of the things that they want to do in September instead of mining smithing. So Bounty Hunter and Deathmatch system will be coming out in September. And after that, the next few projects for the Ninja team is the bank rework and the Christmas update. So the Christmas update, like usual, probably pretty decent. That's fine. But the bank rework, I know a lot of people should be pretty excited for, because they also talked about placeholders. And if you've played old school RuneScape recently, you know how beautiful having a bank placeholder is. If you look at my bank, I don't know about how everyone else's bank is, but my bank is just so disgusting in some tabs. Some tabs of mine are just so disgusting because of presets. Presets make your bank look horrible. There's really nothing else you can do about it, so I personally really want them. I can't wait for placeholders, so whenever they come, but they didn't give a time on that. They just said bank rework is sometimes next year. So, like I said, there's really no date for that. It's just like Mike's mining smith thing. I guess it's ready when it's ready, pretty much. So that's about it for all the little extra goodies. Now they talk about a little about the beach. I don't know about how many of you really like the beach, but I believe that's the rest of things I will be talking about. Yes, a few things I actually want to mention. Someone asked about comp requirements. There will be no comp requirements for the beach because it's a temporary thing. It wouldn't make sense. Somebody asked if you can move the temperature gauge in your interface, and they said no. They basically looked at themselves and realized they kind of forgot to do that, as in they don't have enough time to do it. So they just said, no, we'll do that. We might do that next year if it comes back. That was their response. So, and there's a few other things. They said Claudia is the exact same as last year. They said, oh yeah. So somebody asked why is the beach so late? And their reasoning was that they wanted to release the arc. So beach got pushed back to August. So it's mid-August. No, speaking of, the beach release dates are August 15th and it will end in September 12th. So it's about a month of beach content. So if you really like the beach, make sure you put your swim gear on. Also, Ironman can take a part in the beach, and they said pretty much everything. I think they said decreased XP rates, so I don't know how efficient they'll be for Ironman. You're a Ironman going for max, or you're going for even some 120s, or even if you're going for top page or something. I don't know how efficient it'll be, but I guess we'll find out. They said that there's a happy hour. They didn't really go in details a lot about it, but they just said that I think it's every hour it will spotlight, or maybe it's just during one time. They said it will spotlight the activities. They said spotlight activities will just produce more XP than normal. So basically, like Prif, when you spotlight something, I'm gonna take a guess. My guess will be 20% extra XP because that's Prif. That's just my little guess. We'll find out though. I guess in a few days. Speaking of the beach, there's a beach preparation. So tomorrow, actually, August 11th, we'll be having a little mini beach preparation where they did this last year. You have to go bring buckets of sand to an NPC. Her name is Reyna. Yeah, Reyna. And she will give you a mystery box, while you're helping her create the beach. And if you hand them in every day, you will get a bigger mystery box. And one of the rewards of the parasols, one of the roles are the parasols. I will link these in the description. I will try to. If I don't, like I said, yell at me in the comments that I didn't, and I will make sure I put it. But there's a few parasols, basically by this like umbrellas, basically. They look pretty cool. They showed a few of them, but they didn't show all of them in the Q&A, well, the stream. So I don't personally really care as much, but I know a lot of people care about their fashionscape. So if you want parasols, there we go. Oh yeah, so Reina will be only in games till Thursday till Monday. So if you want to get to her, make sure you get to her before Monday's update, which usually happens I'm trying to think midday for Englanders. So basically around 12 hours ish from the next reset. So or 12 hours from the previous one. So my time is usually about 7 to 8 a.m. So that's Eastern time. So if you're an Easterner, if you didn't know, make sure you get to her before that. There's a few things new from the beach. One of them, my personal favorite, is the Terrorbird racing, where you get to use basically just your Terrorbirds from the April Fools this year. If you didn't see that, I will link that also in the description. There's Terrorbird mounts. They look pretty funny. Oh no, I don't have them. I was about to show you one, but I don't have mine. I just destroyed mine because, yeah. And there's also going to be a Waiko portal, which on the beach, which will teleport you to Waiko. So that'll be there for the month. So that's pretty nice, I guess. And they also said there will be recolors for the Terrorbird outfits. So that's going to be interesting. I really want to see some in the game. They didn't really show many of them, but that'll be cool. There's some new titles. And there's I believe there's everything back from last year. So you can learn everything there. One of my favorite is the Sandcastle rest animation. And they added 2 more. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, there's some more rest animations. There's a few other things. Like I said, there's Terrorbird Racing. I could get into it, but I don't really care as much about a lot of these. There's one of them. There's a treasure map, which if you here for the days of Christmas last year, basically every day you could log in and claim a reward. Now they added a little bit of microtransactions to this, where if you're away for a while, they'll make it so you can reclaim everything you missed for a bond. I don't know if it's just one bond, but it says on the picture redeem a bond. So kind of scummy, but it's whatever. You know, they gotta make their money. So I mean, it solves a problem. So yep. What else is there? Yeah, it's just one bond. I just looked. There's a few new rewards. Like I said, there's the Claudia wings. There's the lifeguard chair hat. It's literally just imagine any type of lifeguard, and there's just a hat, the chair, on your head. There's a shark fin. There's a beach towel cape. I don't know if that was last year. I think these are all new. I don't really know, but there's a shadow drake ring, basically like a little floaty, like a little circle floaty around your waist. There's that one, and there's a rubber ducky one also. And there's also a bikini, I don't know, girls swim outfit. I don't know if that's also male. They only showed the female version, so I don't know how the male will look. And it'll be fun. And like I said, there's a few more things, but all these things I don't really care as much about. I'm not really hugely into Fashionscape. I like a lot of my Fashionscape to be stuff in game, like you see a Mayu character. I have my gnome scarf just because I have my gnome goggles. I enjoy things like that, so I don't personally care about all that, but I know a lot of you guys do. Oh yeah, 2 things I want to talk about is that there's 2 new rest animations. There's Sand Dunk, where basically a hand of Claudia comes out and just like takes your character and makes it like puts you into the ground, and the only thing that people can see is your feet, is your legs actually, your legs sitting out. So this can be something for eat-aters to do. And there's also a hacky sack resting, so you think about it. So yourself, your character sitting right there and just kicking a hacky sack. So that's all fun and stuff. And like I said, there really won't be anything else in the beach to talk about. I don't personally really care a lot about the beach. There's a few things I want to do, but a lot of the cosmetics are just kind of mad for me. Like I know a lot of people, like I said, I know a lot of people care about the cosmetics, so if you do, that's awesome, but it's not my cup of tea usually. Actually, looking at the time of the video, I can go into a few of them if I want, but at the same time, I could also just end the ramble. I don't think there's anything else I really need to talk about. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else they spoiled this week. And there's really nothing else I want to talk about my account. And there's really nothing else I want to talk about in real life. I think I've already covered all that. Actually, if there's anyone that actually watched to this late, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how many people watched the entire thing, but if you did, put one thing in the comments. I want to tell you, just tell me one thing. Tell me something like that you would like for me to talk about in these videos, because like I said, I mostly want to talk about, like I said, Q&As, behind the scenes, all those good things for people that don't watch them, because I personally watch every single piece of information comes out, so I can definitely make videos about that, and I like talking about it. But if there's anything else you guys would like me to talk about, I could definitely do it in these videos, or I could even do it in another video. Like, say if you, like, actually, yeah, if you really want me to do even a guide, because like I said, I'm working on 3 guides right now. I don't want to really spoil any of them, because I don't know when I'll be doing them. As in, like, I don't know when they'll be released. I'm pretty sure all the 3 of these in my head will be released. I just don't know when. It's like, I don't want to tell you guys that I'm doing a Virago guide, because, spoiler, I'm not doing a Virago guide right now. But say if I was doing a Virago guide, and I told you guys right now, like, hey, I'm doing a Virago guide. And then 2 months later, somebody messaged me, it's like, hey, when's your Virago guide coming out, man? I really want to do Virago. And I'm just like, never. So I just want to really make things, like I said, when they come out. I'll probably tell you guys within a week or 2 that my next guide is coming out. Or not my next, my first. I think about, like I said, if you really want to watch it, if you're really curious about it, stay about 2 weeks from now. I should either tease it a little bit or be able to like confirm what it is. So I think that's it for me. I don't think there's anything else. Like I said, if there's anything else you just like, if you really want me to talk about it in this, if there's something else you want me to do, if there's any suggestions you have for me, anything you want, leave it down in the comments. It's the best way for me to know. So that's it for me today, but I will see you soon in the next video. Take care, everyone.